Hi, and welcome back to All Baking Bootcamp. I'm Mia Rigden, nutritionist, chef, and the founder of Rasa. Today, we're going to be making banana pudding. So, a classic banana pudding has layers of vanilla wafers, banana, and vanilla pudding. Today, we're going to be making a gluten-free vanilla wafer and a vanilla pudding that doesn't have any dairy. Both the wafer and the pudding are going to be lower in sugar. Today, we're going to be using agave, and bananas are just bananas. First thing we're gonna do here is make the pudding. It needs to set in the fridge for 2.5 hours. So this is the first step. Grab our eggs and let's go over to the stove. So first thing, we're gonna measure 1/3 of a cup of agave, and we're gonna mix this in a saucepan with 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. The cornstarch is really what thickens the pudding. So I'm gonna turn the stove on medium heat. I'm just gonna whisk this together, and then I'm gonna add the milk. So this is soy milk. You can use almond milk, you can use any non-dairy milk in here. I like soy milk because it has a nice nutty flavor and it's also really high in fat. So I think that this kind of mimics the flavor and the texture of whole milk, which is used in the traditional recipe. I'm just whisking this to make sure that the cornstarch and the agave are fully incorporated with the milk. I'm gonna continue whisking this, but I'm gonna scrape a vanilla bean inside of there. So while that's heating up, I'm just gonna cut a vanilla bean. I'm gonna cut the ends and then slice through the middle, open up the vanilla bean. And you could use vanilla extract in here. So you wanna use the back of the knife once you've opened this up to scrape all that good vanilla. Okay, so mix that in. Put the vanilla bean aside. So it's gonna have those nice flecks, those black vanilla bean flecks in here. So while we're waiting for this to boil, I am going to separate my eggs. So we're gonna need 3 egg yolks for this, and we're gonna save the whites for the vanilla wafers. And you wanna put the egg yolks in a heat-proof bowl. Essentially what we're gonna do is whisk the egg yolks, and then we're going to temper it with some of the hot milk. All right, I'm gonna set the egg whites aside. And keep whisking the milk. And then I'm gonna whisk the egg yolks. You wanna whisk them kind of vigorously to get them to be light and creamy. All right, so keep whisking the milk over medium heat until it comes to the boil. I'm gonna wanna whisk the eggs continuously while I pour in half of the hot milk. So pour it in very slowly. So a key part of this is making sure that you've got your dominant hand whisking, because that's gonna be easier than pouring in the milk. So, okay, make sure you pour in a little, whisk. Okay, that's about half, minus some that I spilled. And so now I'm gonna pour this egg mixture back into the milk, and I'm gonna whisk constantly until it becomes the consistency of a pudding. So this takes about 3 minutes. We're on a medium to low heat right now because we don't want it to cook too quickly or to curdle. So I can already feel that it's starting to thicken. Now we've got like a thick pudding-like consistency. So I'm just gonna pour this back into the heat-proof bowl, cover it with plastic wrap. The plastic wrap should be touching the pudding, and this makes sure that a film doesn't develop. And then we're just gonna throw it in the fridge. It needs to chill for at least 2.5 hours in order to set and become a pudding. I'm just gonna throw this in the fridge and we can make our vanilla wafers. All right, I've got the egg whites reserved from the yolks that we used in our pudding, and now while the pudding's setting, we're gonna make our vanilla wafers. First step is we're gonna be creaming the sugar, in this case agave, with butter. And yes, we are using real butter here. So 1 stick of butter is half a cup. So just put this in the mixer, 1/3 of a cup of agave. It's really important that your butter is at room temperature, otherwise it's not going to cream very well with the sugar. And now I'm gonna add the egg whites. And 1 full egg. vanilla-y. Okay, and once we've had that all mixed together, then that's all of our wet ingredients for the cookies. So now we're gonna mix together the dry ingredients. So we've got 1 cup of almond flour and 1/3 of a cup of coconut flour. So coconut flour generally makes things a bit cakier, and classic vanilla wafers are really crispy when you eat them, but in the banana pudding, you let it set all together so that the vanilla wafers get a little soggy. So we decided to just make these vanilla wafers a little bit cakier so you don't have to wait as long to enjoy your banana pudding. And then we've got our baking soda and some salt. All right, we're gonna slowly incorporate the dry ingredients into the wet. Okay, so this dough is kind of wet. So in order to form them into cookies, I'm actually gonna put them into a pastry bag and pipe them onto the baking sheet. All right, so we have the oven preheating to 350 degrees, and I'm going to put my dough in here. Got this quart container. Nice little hack. We've got our dough. Make sure, as always, when using a stand mixer, to give a good scrape to the bottom. Make sure all the ingredients are fully incorporated. So you can't make a bigger hole smaller. So I always recommend cutting a smaller hole because you can make it bigger. So. And then you want to hold it in one place. You don't need to be like moving it around, and create little discs. All right, so I'm gonna pop my cookies in the oven for about 10 to 12 minutes until they're golden brown. So we've got our vanilla wafers, our banana, and our vanilla pudding ready, and let's assemble these. So I'm gonna cut some banana first so that we have it ready. All right, so first we're gonna do a layer of vanilla wafers, followed by a layer of banana. And you know, there's no banana in the vanilla wafer or in the pudding, so don't skimp on the banana here, otherwise you're gonna miss out on that banana flavor. Top of the bananas, we put some pudding. And then we go for another layer of the whole thing. How cute did these turn out? I love the distinct layers of vanilla wafers, banana, pudding, and how it repeats itself. I think that they look so adorable and would be really fun to serve at a dinner party. You can refrigerate these and really let the flavors melt, but because our vanilla wafers are already kind of cakey, you don't have to, so it's up to you, whatever works. All right, I'm picking this one because I like the layers. You wanna make sure to get a good bite where you get all of the layers. That is really good. And you can see it cuts like a really clean bite in there. That's really, really delicious. I cannot wait for you guys to try this recipe. If you have any questions or comments, like always, comment below. We're monitoring your feedback, and make sure you subscribe to Well+Good so you don't miss an episode of Alt Baking Bootcamp. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time.